Remember Gorky 17, or Odium as it was called too? It is a 1999 survival horror turn-based RPG or something like that. One of my favorite games from the 90s that I've never finished due to being too young and was lacking ingenuity to notice overpowered tactical solutions. Finally played through it, so let's review the game and how it holds up. It can be bought on GOG for a couple dollars, but many have issues running it on modern systems. After a couple hours of screwing around with all sorts of things I didn't even know what they are for, thanks to suggestions from tech-savvy bastards, got the game to work full screen and on high resolution. Steps on how to do it are in the description. Gorky was developed by Metropolis Software, and one of the co-founders went on later to start 11-bit studios that created This War of Mine and Frostpunk. Story takes us to a fictional city in Eastern Europe where a team of NATO soldiers has gone missing. Special team of a few veterans has been dispatched to find out what happened. It is a very Resident Evil type story, but a great one nonetheless. It kept me interested throughout, with mysterious individuals popping up occasionally to fuck with soldiers' heads. 3 soldiers are interesting and completely different personality-wise. Their bickering and situation perception is always fun. Gorky is quite short, with the first playthrough being around 10 hours or maybe even less than that. Wasn't counting. It has no replayability due to linear story, no decision making and very few secrets. I don't know how much Gorky cost in 1999, but right now one great playthrough that is gonna keep you in your seat until the game is over for a couple of dollars is not even worth thinking about. I haven't played a similar game in my life again, and Gorky always stuck with me with its unique approach. As you've seen from the footage, all hell breaks loose immediately upon landing with nasty monsters attacking players. Gorky instantly sets up a fantastic horror atmosphere with soldiers constantly panicking in each encounter, especially when new enemies are introduced. Music is fantastic and pre-rendered locations add to the horror vibe too. Gorky did something very special, and that is one of the reasons why it is gonna keep you glued to the screen for the whole playthrough. Enemy variety is incredible. Next to a lot of recurring enemies, there are also a ton of unique boss type monsters that are introduced with a cutscene with unique mechanics and resistances. I'm not lying when I say that new enemy types are introduced behind every corner, which keeps things interesting all the time. Ever increasing panicked soldier reactions and interactions between them adds to the horror vibe.
We all die!
Stay calm. Frontine, snap 2. What do you think of it?
Oh god. Merde. It's cybernetics. Is that it? We're in a death trap, aren't we? We're just lab rats trying to see how well these things kill.
Thanks, Frontine. Next time pretend I didn't ask.
Combat is simple turn-based with focus on positioning through movement and using the best weapons for the job. Flamethrowers, energy weapons, grenades, tranquilizers and healing supplies are the core of the game. Reason is that ammo is limited, so not being wasteful is key to success. This means going for simple melee strikes at the beginning a lot, with an infinite use flamethrower being the best weapon against most enemies, as it works on cooldown after use instead of having ammo. Thrill of combat comes with being successful by taking the least amount of damage in encounters. Stockpiling ammo and healing supplies by looting crates scattered across the world is so satisfying, so that later when tougher enemies and encounters enter the picture you are ready to heal wounds and use better weapons. Game throws many different encounter types where a different approach is necessary. Sometimes the key is in tranquilizing them so that it buys everyone enough time to protect a person or point of interest. Sometimes it is necessary to focus down one specific enemy. Sometimes a separated soldier gets surrounded by nasty enemies, which means good planning is necessary. With amazing enemy variety and different encounters, Gorky is gonna keep you on your toes all the time. Survival element with limited ammo and supplies fits the game perfectly. Also, combat encounters are fixed and not random infinite spawns. That makes it even better and works tremendously with the survival element. By defeating enemies and using weapons successfully, soldiers gain experience with a specific weapon and general experience that raises their levels. Character progression is quite underwhelming, with only few stats available that do not create enough distinction between soldiers. Luck increases crit chance, columnus doesn't have to be leveled at all as it seems to be a useless stat. Counterattack is nice for additional attacks, but unfortunately there is no way to change weapons after already attacking in the turn, which would make the most out of counterattacks. Accuracy is important not to waste ammo, and that is it. There could have been so much more done in this department to make soldiers unique at least a little bit. At first the game can be quite challenging, especially if certain encounters are triggered early on, but it becomes easier after figuring out what works, how to move around the battlefield, and what enemies to attack first. Tranquilizing methods become OP as well, as it can make encounters against tough bosses done without taking a damage. Then at times, even with all the tricks, it can get quite difficult, where you'll be taken to a brink and forced to use all the weapons in order to succeed. Balancing is mediocre. Careful planning and ingenuity are rewarded, but it can then lead to the game being too easy at times when enemies and encounters should be challenging. On the other hand, even with all the tricks, difficulty can rise up significantly. Upon making a mistake or two in a fight, Gorky is gonna punish you without a doubt. In my opinion, Gorky 17 is still a good game that brought me immense fun for the short period of time the campaign lasted. Can't recall any game in I don't know how many years that kept me glued to the screen without wanting to go to sleep by waiting on each encounter and story development. Might be my favorite experience in years. Telling you, it is a special experience that I'm giving 7 out of 10 for the modern era, which translates to a good game still. Would love someone to pick up this title and do wonders with it. For Gorky to become a masterpiece, a bit more of the game is needed with much better character progression that would add a different layer to the game by having an option to play with soldier specializations that would lead to interesting and diverse teams. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this retro review and stay tuned for more stuff.